share with me some of the tools that you're mostly using in your day-to-day work as a cybersecurity professional with the engineering teams?
So the tool or the operating system that always come into play will be Kali Linux. And on top of that, on top of Kali Linux will always be Metasploit, unless we get really, really special cases where we are not allowed to use it. But this is usually almost always used when we detonate some exploits, try to get a reverse shell. And after that, we will see how the security systems actually trigger and how they're actually able to defend against those threats. So, yep, Kali Linux, definitely the number one choice. And
If
followed
I
by,
can interrupt
yeah.
you, just make sure to keep your flow of ideas. So if you can give me a number or a statistic, you're saying that you're deploying like payloads.
Mhm.
What are the most encountered systems for the targets that you're assessing? Are you mostly dealing on a percentage level with more Windows or more Linux-based systems?
Yeah, so so far we have, I mean, we've spoken to thousands of enterprises that are supporting all this critical infrastructure, and many of them have many different kind of decision-making process. So some of them are really into Linux systems, so they could have like 90% of their servers running on Linux, and then we meet 10% just running on Windows servers 2016, and so on. And on the other side, then we have other clients or enterprises where they are more keen towards using Windows servers. So they have like 90% or even 99% of their servers running on Windows servers. Or they could even have a security policy saying that we do not allow Linux servers to run in our environment. So all our servers will only be on Win server. So again, the dynamic is quite different. But so far, what we see across the industry is 50-50. So that means out of, let's say, 10,000 servers that we work with, probably 5,000 of Linux servers and 5,000, again, many different variants of Linux, and another 5,000 are the Windows servers. And on of Linux servers, a big chunk of them are actually running on Red Hat also. So that's usually what we see across the industry on that. Yeah.
All right, that was insightful. Now, getting back to the main idea, you're saying that you're using Kali Linux. It's great. I use Parrot. I'm
Oh, okay.
experimenting with Parrot OS right now. So
Uh-huh.
you're saying you're using Kali Linux Metasploit, which is in the majority of the situations, and then give me two or three other tools.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I have not used Parrot yet, so I'll be excited if you do have a video on that. I'll definitely take a look. So other tools could be, let's say we are running quarterly phishing campaigns for the clients. So again, some of these tools could be very simply, could also be browser exploitation framework, just to lock down which are the IP addresses and users who actually click on those links. So those could be one. Other than that, we use a lot of security tools and platforms. So your endpoint detection systems, your security monitoring platforms. So actually a big chunk of our time would actually be working with the defensive mechanisms, also the monitoring systems, looking at how our hackers are coming into your utilities, how they're hacking into the financial institutions, and so on. So actually another big chunk of our time is spent on the defense systems, where we are trying to explore how hackers try to bypass some of these security tools or platforms that we're using, and trying to fine tune them to make sure that we are able to detect them all the time. If not, of course, we can use indicators of compromise, indicators of attacks as part of the way of trying to find out all these threats. So many combination of security tools, defense as well as offense. Again, so those we actually explore both end of the spectrum whenever we're doing all this testing and deployment for our big clients. Yeah.
If you want to gain an edge over other cybersecurity professionals, take my Python for Pentesters course and learn how to leverage the power of Python in penetration testing and cybersecurity. Link in the description.
Okay, so in terms of payloads, do you actually use Metasploit for building payloads, or do you use something custom related or custom made by your own team? If
Yeah.
you
So
can share with me that.
so most of the time, the payload would be used from Metasploit because we are trying of the attacks quickly. And of course, because not all the time we actually can create FUDs or fully undetectable payloads. So those again are going to take a lot of effort to create. And sometimes when we want to simulate an environment quickly, what we're trying to see is not just about detecting the payload, but detecting the indicators. So again, that is another security mechanisms that we are looking at. So rather than looking into the payload, we look at what the payload is going to do. So that could be another significant part, because payload can always change, and those changes can actually bypass a lot of these security mechanisms who are looking into the payload. So again, then we are looking at the security solutions that are able to see the indicators when the payload gets detonated. So that's also another way for us to look at. So going back to your question, what kind of payload do we use? So we usually use those default ones that comes out of box because we are trying to simulate quickly. And then also, of course, to emphasize the fact that payloads can always change. So whatever could work now, a year later, it could have been blocked completely by all the antivirus vendors. Yeah, so for us, the most important point would be to simulate the attack, simulate what could possibly happen, even in different kind of environments. Yeah, so that would be our goal and objective when we're doing all these testings.